So you may have seen this on Tim Pool's channel. Apparently, this was taken by one of his subordinates at a pride parade. And yeah, obviously they're saying that they're coming for our children, that the LGBT alphabet people are coming for the children. And Tim Pool does not show this video because there's this woman here dancing around. You can see if you look at the screen that I'm blocking off her chest because she does show her breasts. Now, she doesn't show her nips. She covered those up with little hearts, but there's no reason. They're ugly anyway. You've seen saggy boobs before. If you haven't, go on the internet and look for some saggy fun bags. You'll be like, okay, I don't need to see any of that. That's gross. I want to put together a compilation here of videos I've come across over the year of the trans ideology expressing itself. So let's dive in. But before we do, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed because YouTube does unsubscribe people every single day. You can find me on Rumble and on Twitter.
I can't wait till the day that uterine transplants are possible into trans women and then they can give birth. Because then I would love to see all of these TERFs out here just flip the fuck out whenever they find out that maybe a uterus is not what makes you a woman and they're going to try to find some other excuse. And you watch. It won't happen now because that's not possible, but within the next 10 years it's going to be possible. And then they're going to look back on this and think, wow, I feel really ridiculous for saying that it was a uterus that was required for womanhood because now they're going to change it up just so they can exclude us again.
Well, Lily, that might be happening sooner than you think. And after 9 months of gestation, assuming there's no complications, you can give birth. Oh, well, I mean, does this uterine transplant include a vagina? Because that might be kind of necessary for the baby to exit. And on top of which, you're a biological male, so your pelvis is too narrow to give a natural birth. And besides which, there are plenty of women out there who have given birth, but don't have a uterus anymore, so that doesn't make you a woman. That's just one of the factors we look at.
Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here.
So this is Nebraska State Senate Rep. Michaela Cavanaugh, and I think that she thinks that trans people belong here. Do we also need and love trans people?
We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans.
All right, we got it. So trans people belong here and we love them. But do trans people matter?
You matter. You matter.
All right, so trans people matter. Are you fighting for them?
And I am fighting for you. And I will not stop. I will not stop today. I will not stop tomorrow. You are loved. You matter. You belong here.
I've never seen a better argument for libertarianism ever before in my entire life.
How do you feel about LGBTQ pushing their agenda on the youth?
There is no agenda. You are speaking to the LGBT.
I feel as though that's great. I feel as though every child should be gay.
Yeah, I think every single child
I'm
on
actually
Earth.
gay, and I'm studying to be a teacher right now, and I'm going to make every child in my class gay.
But you just said there's no agenda to transition children. I'm confused. I wonder if this would be allowed to happen in Idaho. Well, there you go. If you're not looking at the screen, it says Idaho's government offers porn literacy to kids.
Critical thinking skills are the largest component of porn literacy. It's the ability for young people to analyze and ask questions about the media that they're viewing.
What the fuck?
Porn is meant to sexually excite a viewer and create fantasy, right? So let's go ahead and start with elementary age youth. And I know some people...
For those of you not looking at the screen, it says trainers believe third grade students benefit from porn. This is written over the Insights on Pornography and Sex Education website. Pornography is an informal and common topic in sex education, it says. I had sex education when I was 12. We didn't talk about porn. It goes on to state, restrictive policies limit educators' ability to address porn in sex education. That's one topic. And the next one is education should affirm young people with marginalized identities. The video goes on to state activities include students watching cartoon porn. Very inappropriate.
Oh, wow. That's so big. I never knew it could be so huge. Hey, Jane, what are you looking at?
After claiming that Idaho directs children to abortion services, the video goes on to state, Idaho North Central District, Idaho's government instructing children to come out to skeptical parents. Next, it instructs children on how to wipe their browser history.
And that when I've normalized watching porn and being curious, students are a lot more engaged in the conversation, but they're also building trust with me. It's okay if they have watched porn, and it's okay if they have thought about porn. I always make sure to say someone being curious about sex and or porn does not make them a bad person, it makes them human. It's so important we normalize that this is a natural human experience.
And yeah, so I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's obviously don't show your children pornography. It's not good.
Qualities but do not identify as men or women. There are also bigender people who may feel that they are both men and women, and gender fluid people who may frequently change how they identify in relationship to male and female. However, a male to female sliding scale is still too simple to grasp the complexities and possibilities of gender. There are agender people who don't have a gender. There are gender neutral people who have a neutral gender. There are gender queers and aliagenders, and countless other genders entirely outside of the concepts of man and woman.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I wonder if any alphabet people ever get angry about people disagreeing with them.
Trans people in Tennessee, it's time to fucking fight. Trans allies in Tennessee, it's time to fucking fight. Trans women, if they lock you up for identifying as a woman, fight, resist. You're gonna die anyways. We're going to die anyways. It's time to fucking resist. Fight them. Hurt them. If they put their hands on you, beat them. If they try to arrest you or have you arrested on a felony for existing, beat them. Team up. Gang together. Get people who agree with you to come and fight. Carry a weapon at all times. And yes, you have to attack the police officer. Allegedly. But it's time. It's time. If they're going to try to jail and police you for existing, you fight them. You fight them. And if they lock you in prison, fuck up the guards.
Wow, well, I would imagine somebody here has never been to prison. These people are armed and they have procedures to deal with prisoners fighting back. So,
bust out of prison. Jump in with other trans people. It's time we organize a prison bust in Tennessee, guys. It's time we start fighting. It's time. If they put their hands on you, fight them. Trans people, fight them. We will not let them create a genocide of trans people.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
I am so tired. I was in a live the other day with 2 trans people who denied this. Out of my way. I disown any trans person who disagrees with this notion. You are not allowed at the fucking table.
well, I mean, really, where do you see trans people being genocided? Where do you see trans people being arrested for being trans? That would be illegal. Genociding people is also illegal. You can't do those things, so this person is crazy.
Trans genocide's around the corner. Stop debating cis people in your existence. I do not debate. My existence is not a conversation. We fucking fight now, or we die. And we're not gonna die debating cis people. They're gonna have the last word. They're joining your life to call you a man. They're joining your life to call you a woman. They're joining your life to misgender you, to get the right pronouns, to tell you that you're not existent. They're f***ing with you and you're an idiot!
Right, that tracks. In dumb world.
You're gonna kill us all! Join together and start organizing a rally for resistance, not for talk. They're f***ing with you. You're being gaslit. You think you're gonna have a conversation and make progress. We don't have time to make progress. We have time to fight. God, all of you, I'm disappointed. Fight! Stop!
So wait, are we fighting or are we stopping?
I'll tell you something. If a police officer put his hands on me for trying to be who I am, I don't care if I got shot. I'm taking a couple of transphobes with me. And I suggest you do the same. The time for debate is over. It's a waste of time.
Extra emotional damage.
Now I have a short clip of Tim Pool reading from the book, This Book is Gay, a book that has been presented to school-aged children across the country.
This chapter is about sex, therefore it has sex in it. Well, duh. If you're a younger reader and you feel you aren't ready for the finer details of same-sex pairings, then simply skip this whole chapter. However, before you do, I'd like to remind you that we taught you all about straight sex when you were 11 years old during 6th grade. The fact they didn't also teach you what same-sex couples do is nothing less than institutionalized homophobia.
No, it's not, and I'll tell you why. When I was taught sex ed, we learned about reproduction. The only thing they said about sex itself was, most of the time people do it in missionary position, but there are other positions. That's it. Everything else was like the mechanics of how babies are made and how to use prophylactics.
Straight sex was presented as the norm to make 5% of the population feel abnormal.
Well, then by definition, it's the norm. Hello?
Is there something icky about gay sex? Is there something wrong with it? I challenge any politician to discuss this with me. I will ruin them.
Yes, all sex is icky. Where have you been?
This chapter is simply all the stuff teachers should be saying if they want to be inclusive of people with same-sex feelings.
Same-sex feelings, really? Well, then why is the chapter about sex? I mean, they said right in the beginning.
This chapter's about sex, therefore it has sex in it. Well, duh.
Now I'm going to leave you, dear viewer, with a woman who gets it.
I just want to know what it is that makes a drag show family friendly. Because if you follow it to its logical conclusion, you can slap family friendly titles on anything. You can have family friendly gentlemen's clubs, family friendly strip shows, family friendly 50 Shades of Grey read alouds. Will you approve my flyer if I want to host an all the sex secrets of the Kama Sutra for kids and families if it's family friendly? That's my question.
Wow.
What is it about a grown man, and I honestly, sincerely, as a woman, mean this, what is it about a grown man costumed in a sparkly bra with augmented boobs busting out, a leather miniskirt barely covering his twerking ass with tuck tape on his front while spreading his fish-netted legs as he writhes on the ground, grinding his groin next to a minor? Family friendly. You owe us an answer.
No.
And you know, you don't get to hide by just taking something down off Peachtree and calling it a day. You owe an explanation and an apology to every parent. You all got caught with your sparkly panties down. And while we have a culture that has a massive problem with child porn, with sex trafficking, you, a little school district board of adults, made the decision to feature an event to hypersexualize young children. Do you want to know that the word that defines that? It's groomer. You all played the activist pimp for an Align Surgical Center and for a 21 plus gay bar. It makes you groomers and activist pimps, and we won't have those sitting on a school board who oversees the education of our children. You all stepped out of line. You should be ashamed. There's nothing loving. There's nothing, let's unite and include, because the logical conclusion of that is you end up in diabolical evil. There are boundaries, and you don't slap family-friendly titles on stuff to cover your ass.